My belief is that a meme cannot be created by one person, because the very definition of a meme is it's a shared idea that's shared over and over again, repurposed,
Yeah.
remixed a bit. So it really takes a crowd, a whole bunch of people to create a meme. Somebody makes the first thing, the first version, but for it to become a meme, it requires many people.
There is a reason. There is a very specific reason, just from like the history of humankind, why a frog somehow got attached to Bitcoin. And I think, it just boils down to symbolism.
I think I've said it a couple of times now. It's like a picture tells a thousand words, but a meme tells 1,000 stories.
History evolves in spirals. We rise, we fall, and we rise again. Each time with new tools and new ways to imagine the world we want to live in. Today, that tool is Bitcoin. It's a new form of money, and it's a new form of meaning. I'm Yonat Vaks, an artist imagining a more conscious and free world through different mediums and stories. And this is the movement of art. In each episode, I sit down with artists, builders, and dreamers. Together we uncover how ideas of sovereignty, decentralization, and hope spread through creativity. New episodes will be released on the 8th and 21st of each month, because symbols matter and they build civilizations. This podcast is part of the Bitcoin Art broadcast and is produced in collaboration with Bitcoin Art magazine, featuring curated full-page artwork from the world's leading Bitcoin artists. If you haven't already, order yourself a copy from bitcoinartmagazine.com. And please consider subscribing to the Bitcoin Art broadcast on YouTube, Fountain, Spotify, or on your favorite channel to help us spread the word and share it with someone who's curious about the future of art and freedom. You can find more information and listen to past episodes at bitcoinartbroadcast.com. And you can follow me on X and Nostr. The links are on my website at yonatvaks.com. That's YONATVAKS.com, where you can see my art and sign up to my newsletter that goes out once a month with behind-the-scenes stories and special subscriber perks. Together, we are on a mission to spread Bitcoin culture and its values through art, ideas, and meaningful conversations. Join us in orange pilling the world through beauty, stories, and soul. In today's episode, I have the privilege to talk to 3 exceptional artists about memes and their true power. Marcus Connor, creator of one of the most well-known memes in Bitcoin, Coaster Guy, who has become such an innate part of Bitcoin culture, we sometimes forget it actually had a creator. Marcus is an illustrator, musician, and all-around talented creative who puts magic into everything he touches, including how he showed up for this episode. So if you're just listening to the audio, you have to see the video as well. Joining us is also Rare Scrilla, a multidisciplinary talent working at the intersection of music, memes, and visual storytelling. Scrilla is a modern-day Renaissance man who has refined the art of memes in a profound and all-encompassing way. We are also joined by Pepenardo, an extremely talented painter who blends timeless symbols with internet memes in a meticulous process. In a space built on instant consumption, the depth in every aspect of his work is a way of asking questions about the world we are living in today. The 4 of us talk about how seemingly trivial and simple images and gifs are maybe the most honest art form of our era, carrying myth, prophecy, rebellion, and community. If you're not doing so already, follow these 3 incredible artists. Their links are in the show notes, and enjoy our conversation. Okay, so we're going to start with kind of with a personal question for each of you about memes. So if there are any listeners that still don't know you, they can get to know you a little bit through your art. So Marcus, let's start with you. Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So in 2013, you drew the Bitcoin roller coaster guy,
Yep.
and yeah, and at first you put it on Reddit. It didn't. It got downvoted on Reddit. That's true. But then it kind of took a life of its own, and people started making gifs of it. There's like gifs of different coins as well. I even saw someone made a costume of it.
Yes.
And yeah, I remember when I think it was the conference in Miami in 2022 that we were walking around the bazaar, and suddenly we found, or I don't know if you saw that before, but we found a table where someone was selling Bitcoin roller coaster guy merch,
Yeah.
like T-shirts. Do you
Yep.
remember that? And
Yeah.
and like just the whole table of Bitcoin roller coaster guy merch, and obviously your name wasn't mentioned.
No,
And
I had no idea until I was there. I was like,
Oh
hey,
my
there's a
gosh.
table selling all your stuff.
yeah. So how does that feel when something you made kind of like takes on a life of its own? And I think with the Bitcoin roller coaster guy, a lot of people kind of feel that it just came into the internet, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
that's right.
really
I mean,
thinks that
you see a meme on the internet and you just think like, well, that just exists, it just
yeah.
came into existence. It almost always existed. It's not like somebody created it. Who creates anything, But yeah, I used to do a daily web comic before or during the time when I made the coaster guy, and people in some places, throughout the world were taking my comics and making shirts and selling them without, my permission, without giving me any money. I don't really agree with that so much, but they did it, and I just kind of let that go. So, and then I also had people, I would read comments online about my comics, and they'd be like, "This sucks, dumb, man. This is so stupid. What an ugly drawing." So just to say that by the time I posted Coaster Guy, I was really building up a thick skin. And so then I made Coaster Guy, just for Bitcoiners. He wasn't part of my daily comic. But yeah, when it got downvoted to 0, it was like, oh well, I'm drawing every day, so that was just one more thing. I mean, the original one was a GIF; it was animated, but yeah, I thought it was forgotten, and then I found out it wasn't, and then he, took off, and all these people were, changing him and moving him around, and he was taking on a life of his own, sort of, So it's like, did I create him? Who created this guy? It doesn't matter. Like, all these people are taking him on this ride. And that was really awesome. And I'm really, really, really grateful that all that happened, because then, he's people are enjoying him. That's the best thing, is like people are enjoying.
Yeah.
And all these years later, people do care who made something. They see something, even if it's a meme, and they say, yeah, I do care. I do care who made that. And they want to support, the artist who made it. So yeah, but seeing like the people selling the shirts at I don't agree with it, because I think when you purchase any kind of art, whether it's on a t-shirt or a print or whatever, there is a reasonable expectation that the artist is being compensated for that. So when the artist isn't, then that should at least be known. I mean, you should at least say, hey, this is a knockoff. Like if you go to New York City and you buy your Rolex from a guy on the street corner, you know that it's not really a Rolex. You know that the company Rolex is not getting any of that $40 that you're paying for that watch.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but at the same time, I love when, people take them and share them and change them and all that. And they do it for the love of Bitcoin, right? that, and just for the love of having fun. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
So
It's also that question that, like, maybe we'll talk about it later, but is a meme like a noun or a verb, right? Do you create the meme, or is a meme something that happens later with an artwork?
Oh yeah. Well, my belief is that a meme cannot be created by one person, because the very definition of a meme is it's a shared idea that's shared over and over again, repurposed, remixed a bit. So it really takes a crowd, a whole bunch of people to create a meme. Somebody makes the first thing, the first version, but for it to become a meme, it requires many people.
Yeah, for sure. So, Nardo, you have your famous quote, "You become what you meme." So, since the inception of Pepenardo, what have you become?
It's a great question. I think, I've always been an artist my whole life, and, obviously always been surrounded by sort of classical inspiration of like Renaissance painting. So that's always carried through in everything I've done in my art career and just my exploration in art making. But it was only until, I kind of found this merge of Bitcoin and art coexisting in the same place that I realized there was this whole ideology in Bitcoin where like mimetics were sort of part of the conversation of art, of symbolism. Bitcoin is sort of this vehicle that perfectly aligns with mimetic imagery. And so I think, around 2021, when I stumbled into the fake rares and was seeing the sort of utilization of Pepe the frog and these sort of internet memes being utilized in the form of collectibles and valuables and fine art, that sort of was the spark for exploring the idea of you becoming what you meme. It stems from that, I think it's Marcus Aurelius quote, like, you become what you think about all day long, or that's Marcus, right? And
He's here, the reincarnation.
yeah, so there's something really true and profound with that, just in even what Marcus, our buddy here, Marcus Connor, was saying about how memes are sort of this it requires a large group of people. It's sort of this infectious idea that sort of spreads and evolves into its own thing. And I really thought about how that aligns with Bitcoin. Bitcoin started as an idea that was basically just code. It was really didn't have a sort of value, and maybe initially people didn't perceive it as needing to have like a incredible value when it first came, but people believed that it would become something so big that it would consume the entire sort of perception of how we deal with modern finance. And really, like, that sort of belief, that collective belief, sort of is part of the reason why Bitcoin has succeeded to the point that it's at today. People literally memed it into existence, and memed its value into existence. And so there's this idea of memeing something into value, but there's also more personally to me, becoming what you meme is sometimes even just my perception of how the world operates in good and evil, good versus evil, and how we need to meme things that are positive and you know, sort of carry on this idea of the war of good and evil online, you know, because memes are basically it's mind share. You're fighting for you know, collective attention. So it's this weird sort of sense of you know, modern warfare or mimetic warfare of the mind. Like what ideas will proliferate and win and stay in the minds of the masses. So that's kind of a weird philosophical explanation. But yes, you become what you meme is just my call. It's my call to reality for people to be careful about what they meme, because what they meme, they will truly end up embodying is my belief.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think you're onto something there, Nardo.
Thank you.
Yeah, that brings me to like Scrilla. The question for you is actually, it's connected to how, Nardo, to how you finished that in your album in for 2069. You have a song that's called He Who Controls the Memes, who, by the way, anyone listening, if you haven't heard Skrilla's albums already, after you finish listening to this episode, go listen to them and buy them so he can make more music. Yeah, what's that song about? What does that mean? He who controls the memes.
Yeah, it's kind of what Nardo was talking about. You know, a good example right now is like Elon Musk bought Twitter, changed it into X, and you know, he's kind of like the meme lord now because he controls the memes, because he controls the algorithm, he controls the mimetic propulsion of a lot of things, he controls what people see, he controls what people don't see. So you know, you can go to that grand scale, or you can go more into our niche, like the Bitcoin memes. And you know, the memes right now are like C-spam and BIP 110 and ordinals and counterparty and Pepe's and, you know, not your keys, not your coin, and anti CBDC, or, you know, a fucking Michael Saylor. There's so many different, you know, memes that have come in to Bitcoin and kind of like had their moment. I think the first meme really that took off in Bitcoin was the alpaca socks. You know, you got like the baklava by what's his name? You got like,
Mandrick.
yeah,
Mandarin.
Mandrick. You got the Citadel meme. You got the Money Badger meme, the Honey Badger. You got all these memes that have come up and, you know, come in and out of style in Bitcoin. Some have stuck around, and so you know, that's really just what it is. It's just like whatever is kind of like on the mind and can stay on the mind has a greater effect, you know, within the community. And kind of like for lack of a better word right now, it's like a popularity contest a little bit with like the meme, you know, like sometimes it's frustrating, especially if like your like ideas aren't festering like you want them to. So then you got to go in and kind of like figure out a way to infiltrate the minds. And I think a lot of Bitcoiners have dealt with that because there's so many different Bitcoiners within Bitcoin now. So like everybody's fighting for this like this righteousness and what they think is Bitcoin, you know. And I think the answer really is Bitcoin is whatever you think it is. But for Bitcoin to be successful, it also has to have like Bitcoin is a meme. I mean, I think Nardo touched on it. Like Bitcoin is literally a meme. The dollar is a meme. Fiat is a meme. Fiat really became a meme in 1971. But you know, we value things based on what we think other people will also value it, right? And so like memes are kind of like a microcosm of that in a lot of ways.
Do you think the memes in Bitcoin had like actual, like you say, like ordinals and maybe in the block size wars and all that? Do you think they actually had impact on decisions that were made, like on protocol level and things like that, or is it more like just like a fun way to pass? Like, how much impact do you
Yeah,
think they actually
absolutely.
had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
UASF was a definitely meme to hell Like,
Yeah.
because you only have a certain amount of people that have the knowledge maybe, and then it's kind of like you need all these plebs to like join your army and be as loud as possible. And that really was what UASF seemed to be. It's kind of like the corporates versus the cypherpunks in a lot of ways. But some of the people that were corporate or on the big block side, I think that they were on that side because of the memes, or they didn't really have good memes on that side. So really, it's the other side that kind of memed it, because we were like the underdogs, kind of fighting like the big money people. And that's really what it takes, honestly. Like, I mean, I think memes and ideas and words, like for people always, going back to many years ago, people are talking about fighting with the pen and stuff like that, and that's kind of what memes are. Memes are dense things, right? So like, I think I've said it a couple of times now. It's like a picture tells a thousand words, but a meme tells 1,000 stories. So like, think of the reason I use memes in my art is because of the density. So like, I'm trying to tell. It might look silly on the at first glance, like these cartoon pictures and da da da. But really, if you look at all of them and all three of us here do this, we have symbology within our memes that it's really a way to pack a punch with an artwork having so much density without having to like, tell all these other stories. The story is what it is. If I use Polar Bear 2026, I'm telling this post-apocalyptic like character is involved. What is he doing? I mean, if I'm using the honey badger, that's like the fight for Bitcoin and going against any opponent and stuff like that. Like Pepe is like the jester, and we're living in the age of the jester, I believe. And Pepe is the only one, that you need a jester to be able to kind of like tell the story, and like the even going all the way back, like the kingdom, like you had to have the jester was the person that kind of told the truth through like comedy and like irony and stuff like that. And that's what Pepe does.
People don't like the truth when it comes at them sharply. They want it with a joke. Sarcasm, please.
Jester
Do you think-
maxing.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you actually
Jester
think, do you
maxing
think
is something that we've been doing. Like, honestly, it's so funny because that word like really encapsulates what we've been doing for like the last 10 years online with Pepe's and Bitcoin, at least in my run. I think Jester maxing is a good word.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you look at other parts of like X and the world in general, usually like a lot of people go to fear mongering and like rage and anger to spread meat. Like, okay, so just a little parentheses for those who, I'm sure people listening have heard the word memes, but just to so we're all on the same page. I think today when we use the word memes, a lot of us, we mean like images or gifs or videos that we like send each other on the internet or that we see on social media. But the word meme was actually invented before the internet, and it was by an evolutionary biologist called Richard Dawkins, who kind of said that memes are kind of a unit to spread information. So just like genes are a unit, genes like spread or have biological information. So memes, it's kind of a way that culture spreads itself. It's a way to spread ideas. And there are ideas that are more viral, it's also a word that comes from virus, right? From something that propagates really fast. So there's ideas like religion, for example, is a very viral meme. It's a meme that took hold on almost all of the world in some form or another. So the memes that we talk about, usually when we say memes, are like internet memes, but the idea underneath it is the idea of spreading ideas. So yeah, a lot of memes or ideas today are spread through fear mongering, through anger, through rage, and like Bitcoin memes are spread, to me it seems like, through humor. So do you guys think that humor is actually a better way to spread ideas?
Oh, yes, I think it is because of really what Nardo said earlier. Nardo said that, you become what you focus on, essentially, right? So by keeping it positive and joking about things and being fun, That's we're helping to create a positive world, right? And give Bitcoin a positive spin, right? Like the roller coaster guy, he's smiling on the way up, but he's smiling on the way down too. You just got to have a fun time the whole time. So yes, better than fear mongering. Oh no, this is good, bad. Oh, of course, yes, we all know bad stuff happening everywhere. We know it. Let's have some fun. Let's laugh about it.
Yeah, in the Rare Pepe trading back in 2016, Mike, who started it, he's a meme lord, like official meme lord. He taught a lot.
Was he ordained with that?
I mean, if he's not, he should be. He
okay.
literally, he's a meme lord, and
Yeah. No,
he had some knowledge about memes that he would spread within the chat and like privately talking to him. I'd been into memes for a while, but I actually learned quite a bit from him, from like the idea of like, a meme, the best, not maybe the best memes, but the most impactful memes often are just the quickest memes. They don't have a lot of words. They're just an image. They're just a quick, it's not, you're not having a lot of detail. You don't have to have a lot of details in it and stuff. It can be dank. It doesn't have to be like well drawn and stuff like that. But what I was gonna say on the topic of both you guys are talking about is he really put the idea out there in Rare Pepe. He would block cards from being in the set sometimes, based on the idea of like what you meme comes true and like manifestation and like, and it's I think it's very true. And me and Nardo have a chat with a couple of people that we've done some memeing, and sometimes something will happen. We'll be like, God, blame the other person. Like you idiot. Like why did you meme that? Like, now,
do you have like what tell us about a meme you after you did it, you were like, shit, I shouldn't have put
well,
that.
I won't meme like killing or I won't meme stuff like that. I won't meme stuff that I don't want to happen generally. I do tell stories with my memes, so I will tell, like, personally, I'll tell stories. Like, I do think there's like a great like fight within like the Great Awakening versus the Great Reset right now, and so I've made images that are both like what I think kind of like the future looks like in a lot of ways. So sometimes I think I'm even guilty of memeing stuff that I don't want to happen.
Well, I think it's because you want to tell an honest story, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're trying to have fun, but it is a real thing and real stuff. So some of it isn't pleasant, right? I'm doing the same thing. I'm working on something right now, right? It's a battle. But yes, you have to be true. I think that's why you include those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess like the idea though is, you don't want to put memes out there that will bite you in the ass, or like, really it's just manifestation, I think, right? It's like the more energy you put in something, the more likely it is to happen to you, right?
Yeah. The thing that you're focusing on. Nardo.
So do you, like, Nardo, when you do your paintings, do you think about that? Like, do you pick the symbols or the things you put in, like, do you engineer it to be a meme, to be viral, or is it more like intuitive, or what's the process?
I didn't get cut out again, did I?
No, we can hear you.
Because I can't hear you not now.
We can't. Are you speaking?
Oh, Nardo can't hear Yonat, and Yonat can't hear Nardo.
Oh, really? Can you hear? Okay, now can you hear me?
I hear both. I hear both, y'all.
I can hear you.
Did you hear my question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think I haven't thought about that as much in the last sort of 36 months. And it shows. I think, I think when I first came into creating art adjacent to Bitcoin, I was thinking about that exclusively. I was trying to be very conscientious about my images and how they might influence or impact my own personal mind and my goals for the future and how that will manifest into reality. And then You know, I make jokes on Twitter because I was looking back at my late 2024 and early 2025 paintings, and they're all very dramatic and red and kind of ominous. A kind of a good example that is funny is, well, two examples. The day I completed the smug Trump painting with that explosive red fiery background, and he's got his like smug look on his face. I think it was either the day I completed it or the day I started it. Was the day that he had his attempted assassination. So like
Yeah, I remember
that felt like weird to me. Obviously that's kind of like a weird thing to say on a recorded line, but no intent, no ill intent.
Knock, knock.
I was trying to create a sweet painting.
Yeah, that had to feel weird though, right?
It did. It felt very strange. And then obviously, I don't know if anyone's seen my my 6529 the memes painting titled meme 2025 in all caps, and it's just this sort of Uncle Sam sort of anonymous figure pointing at the viewer in a very intense and ominous way. He's kind of breaking the fourth wall, and behind him is this very like dark, you know, explosive sort of oil field. And so, you know, that in its that sort of symbol of the oil field, of like the commodification and the warfare that occurs of precious goods and things like that, I feel like sort of is unfolding, you know, obviously in a lot of our modern politics. And not that I'm saying like that my
Well-
paintings caused any of this, but I think I'm tapping into this sort of collective fear mongering. I think Twitter, especially just in the last 36 months, has especially rewarded negative fear mongering sort of posts, and I think it's really like affecting me personally. You know, I'm thinking about things in a very different angle. And
Well, you should wear a tinfoil hat so
Yeah.
that the rays don't get into your head and tell you what to think. So,
That's
It's
It's
funny
fun-
because there's sorry.
No, I was just gonna say
There's-
real quick along the lines of what Nardo was talking about. I had the same feeling one time. There was an influencer that I really despised. He's really agitating me, and I just was, you know, sometimes I'll doodle a lot, and I was just doodling, and I was making these like obscene doodles, and I was putting him kind of in it as like this cartoon character, like doing like awful things, honestly. Like, and I showed Kane Mayfield actually, and then the next day, yeah, he got like destroyed. They dug up his Twitter. They dug up his Twitter. And he was like, just, I mean, he had said some wild things, and he just like lost it. And Kane called me out, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I was like, "Dude, did I just make a voodoo doll like meme? Like, what just happened?" And like, I'd never shared it. I threw it away. And I was like, it kind of scared me. The same thing as Naruto saying. I know that that's not what happened, but it was like this like weird feeling, like what the fuck.
too much power. You felt like you had too much power. Throw the ring into the fire.
Metaphorically,
really
I'm not stupid enough to know that I did that, but it was just weird. Like it's just like this, like you were talking about. It's like the collective consciousness thing. Like, I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Well, you probably didn't have your tinfoil hat on to protect you. That's why.
But there's also like, if you go down like the mimetic rabbit hole, or the whole idea of it, there's also this theory that that not we use memes to spread ideas, but that memes use us to spread ideas.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's like this whole, I like that idea. I like that idea. Sometimes like when I'm making art, you know, when you don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me sometimes where I'm like making it and I feel too like, oh, I don't like this isn't good, da, da, da. And then I try to switch it to think like, no, I'm just the vehicle, kind of like,
Yeah.
this is just an idea that decided to come through me. I like that idea that there's like the muses or the ideas, they're just like floating around and they choose you to manifest.
Yeah, that's
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's when you take off your aluminum foil hat, and then you get the idea. It comes into
You
you.
should have put one on
But
today.
I'm always wearing an aluminum foil hat.
It's
It's just disguised as a normal hat.
It's built in under the brim
Yes.
there.
He's got a
Actually-
Faraday cage inside that thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not always wearing it. I take it off when I want a new idea, you know, but as I'm working on something, stop the new ideas from coming in. Come from the ether.
Okay, so Skrilla and you were talking about like the Pepe and NFT in 2016, and I think then there were like a handful of Telegram groups, right? Like crypto art groups. I started in like 2017, but there were like maybe there were even less in 2016. And they were all kind of like talking about the same ideas of like of what is crypto art? Is it about Bitcoin? Is it about cryptos? At NFTs? Is all that? But something else happened and is still happening, like in the Pepe group, right? Like it's like crypto art, but there's like a green frog connecting everything. And do you like, what's the power of that? Like, what's the power of that? I mean, in like creating the community around it. Like, how did that meme affect the community, the creation of the community?
Yeah.
If that question makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, so in 2016, when I joined the Rare Pepe trading, that was my first. I downloaded Telegram to join the chat, and that was my first group. And there was a Spells of Genesis chat as well, but the Pepes were like, that was like kind of like the big bang inflection point of like artists and kind of collectors coming to the blockchain to create and sell these digital pieces. You know, these things were selling for $5, $10, maybe $20, $50 if it was like a rare, you know, the community really wanted it. And that was super interesting at the time, because literally all that was happening at that time was either people were stacking sats or they were trading shit coins to get more sats. You know, if you're trading shit coins, you're trying to earn Bitcoin. It's different now. Like now that people are all valued at USD, but it was literally like trying to accumulate more Bitcoin. That was like the whole idea. So all these ICOs were coming out at the time, and it was like a joke within the Rare Pepe community. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, we were all pretty much Bitcoin maxis in the chat, and we didn't like the idea of all this like kind of like ICO, you know, shit that was going on. So we just joked around and kind of the beginning of Rare Pepe's was really just making fun of the whole crypto sector at large. And it reminded me of like Garbage Pail Kids a lot. And that it was just like this like crass, like just, you know, ironic like usage of the frog, which, you know, a whole other subject, but like Rare Pepe's kind of came from Pepe the Frog, which was the original character from Boys Club by Matt Fury. But Rare Pepe came from that frog, but the internet really created Rare Pepe. It just became like a whole thing. It became like a medium. You didn't even have to use like by the end of it, and now and going back, whatever, for years now, you don't have to use a frog to make it a Pepe. Like Pepe is kind of like this like idea. It can be colors, it can be things. It's just really kind of hard to pinpoint, I guess, exactly. Like it doesn't have to be green, like, you know, it's purple Pepes and pink Pepes and blue Pepes, and you know, your I don't know where I'm going with that, but the idea, I guess, if you go back to your question, is like, yeah, all like the Jessica Angels chat, my chat that came from the Rare Pepe chats in the Telegrams community. Those were like the art places, and then Super Rare spun one up. Rare Art Labs had one, but it was mostly Pepe people kind of branching out into these places, and then other people coming in from like the ETH community or just like artists and random coming in, and kind of got bigger and snowballed, and kind of people kind of splintered off of what I kind of what it started as, which is just joking around, having fun, and being like collectibles. Like we have a disease. Like collecting is a disease. I think. I think like
Yes.
it's not it's a new world, not problem necessarily, but it's something that probably didn't happen like 1,000 years ago. People are worried about like where they're going to get their next meal, but we have the luxury now where we have so many like take so much stuff for granted. Now we just spending time doing these things like collectibles and all this stuff, and that's kind of what it is. And crypto art spun off from that. There was no NFTs until really end of 2017 and 2018 when that word kind of like became a thing. Like we were just talking about tokenizing art and talking more about provenance and chain of custody, and really just experimenting with the idea of what we were doing. We didn't really know what we were doing. We were just kind of doing it as we went. And the cool thing about it in a lot of ways is that there was no like money behind it. There was no, you didn't have to pay, like it wasn't people paying people to build. So it was like just the community liked what we were doing, and people in the community like, how can I help? Oh, Joe's like, let me build this wallet now, so these images don't have to live in Telegram. Somebody came in and was like, yo, let's take this IPFS, or let's take Arweave, ordinals, and how can we store these images long term? It became like these other things, but originally it was just let's make a funny thing and see if we can like win over the chat that day, and like see if people will like think our meme is funny and collect it, and then try to collect some. And it was really a bootstrapping event. I think Rare Pepe is a good example of bootstrapping a network, because we were all just in there having so much fun and so enamored with like what was going on within the space that we would just I started a podcast off out of Rare Pepe's. I was doing meetups all over the East Coast, like trying to get people to understand what crypto art or crypto music, and using these tokens to earn outside of like your living wages. And that was kind of my idea, is like I've been a creative my whole life, and when I kind of discovered this, it was kind of like it really struck a nerve or a bell for me, because I put out a music album in 2014. I was trying to sell it for Bitcoin, I couldn't. So when 2016 came around, these Pepes were selling or creating, I was like, oh shit, this is something on the blockchain that people are doing that actually made sense to me, other than like all of it was otherwise was just ICO or investing, and this was like an art thing that was happening. So
something fun.
Yeah, it was like fun stuff happening on the blockchain. Like it was the first instance I'd seen of it, and it was definitely the most fun I've had in the blockchain era that I've been in, those first like 6 months.
And the Pepe, like, you think the meme was the thing that connected it, or do you think it could have happened without Pepe?
I think Pepe serves its purpose. It's like this magical meme. So Pepe's done a lot of things beyond blockchain. It's done a lot of powerful things on the internet, and in real life. So I think definitely Pepe had to be Pepe. And that's another point, is like at the time, people were inventing these things, these solutions for problems that didn't exist, and trying to sell it to people.
Yeah.
But Rare Pepes really had an issue where they were trying to sell them on the internet, sell them on eBay, kind of like in these ironic manners, but they were doing it. And like, I mean, everybody knows probably about the eBay sale, got up to almost $100,000, and eBay, knocked it off. Like said, you can't do this. You can't sell a folder full of JPEGs. So
that's too much money.
Yeah. So this was like the first instance that I saw where it was like, oh, this is actually something that, you know, is kind of being solved, where, you know, creators are making these memes, and now they're able to like distribute them in like this, again, it was like a kind of an ironic, humorous fashion, but it stuck and it became more. And then, you know, you had like serious suit people start coming and start, you know, patenting words like NFT. There was like the whole debate like NFT versus Nifty and all this stuff back in the day. And you had, you know, honestly, Ethereum stole the thunder in a lot of ways, because they were down bad because they were known as the ICO chain, and they were trying to pivot and figure out a way that they could save themselves. And they saw the art community, you know, you had Fred, what's his name, and some of these finance bros find out about Pepe's, and then next thing you know, you have crypto punks and crypto kitties, and then Rare Art Labs and Super Rare and all this stuff start spinning up. And they all came from the idea of Pepe. Like they're all like they're all the white papers and all the initial rollouts of those places. It mentioned Rare Pepe as kind of like their, like, look at, we saw Rare Pepe and we did this, you know. And so
That's where the meme takes a life of its own.
yeah, so that, you know, crypto art to me is you know, and is Rare Pepe. It's like like Joe Looney famously within our community said that every NFT is a Rare Pepe, and I agree with that, because like I think most of us here don't like the word NFT, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't like the
I like
word.
that. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's basically say like Rare Pepe is really where it started. I mean, you know, asterisk, but
yeah,
you know, that idea was then taken. They memed the meme.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It
and
got a
yeah,
life of its own.
yeah.
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 It's kind of sad, like what's happened a little in a lot of ways, like sad and awesome. Like, to be honest with you, like how it's kind of what has come from it. There's good things and bad things.
Well, you get this little you know, this little niche thing where you have a very organic group of people organically sharing and laughing about Pepe. Feels good, man. And they're just having a good time, and you guys are in there wanting to just like get the laugh from my other friends, and then they'll buy it and that'll be awesome and it'll feel good and it's so fun. And then somebody else walks by and they go, oh, wait a minute, they're making money at this. I think we can make some money on this. Yeah, you know, where you guys are really just like, you know, having the fun.
You know, you asked Skrilla like why Pepe? Why did Pepe get attached to Bitcoin? You know, why is that such a seamless relationship of the two? And I always think it's interesting how, you know, like Bitcoin was sort of set out to be this sort of bringer of chaos. It's like a disruptor of a very established system. And, you know, at the same time, the metaphysics of frog symbolism throughout history has been a bringer of chaos as well. You know, biblically it's in the Bible, you know, raining of frogs, and, you know, even in fairy tales, the you know, like the grim, what are the grim fairy tales?
Kissing the frog.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiss the
Like,
frog.
yeah, the lead up to the kiss though is like that frog rescues the princess's golden ball from the bottom of a dark pond and brings it to the light. So it's like this weird symbol again of the frog transcending both water and land, you know, and that kind of weaves into the sort of idea of like what we perceive as physicality and the blockchain as being the sort of transcendent sort of mimetic network. So I, you know, just wanted to jump on what Skrilla was saying, but I think that there is a reason, there's a very specific reason, just from like the history of humankind, why a frog somehow got attached to Bitcoin. And I think, you know, it just boils down to symbolism.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's yeah, it's really like when you think, it's really mind blowing. Like when you think of memes, or when I think people kind of see them as, we were saying this a lot, like jokes and but they have so much behind them. And it's like, Nardo, it's like that thing that I think even if we don't realize it, it's somehow in our collective consciousness, this thing about frogs, even if we don't have words for it, or it's not in our, it's somewhere in our subconscious, right? This like all of these ideas that come up.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
look
And,
at look at the 10 to 15, 20, whatever experiments before Rare Pepe's. There was nothing that happened from that until the Rare Pepe's started doing it, and then it exploded kind of like into the NFT scene. But like people have been trying to do art on the blockchain prior to 2016. Since you can go back to the the Genesis transaction. Like there was a message encoded within
Yep.
Bitcoin. So I mean,
Yeah.
people have done stuff, and they're even on Ethereum, like the Ethereum people, and then you had Spells of Genesis. You had J was it Jansen, and some of these other people, Nelly, doing like these little experiments. But it wasn't until Rare Pepe's came that people that idea and the symbolism, and Pepe was like the internet meme at the time. So I mean, I think we're talking about internet money, and just the pairing of it all, it kind of gave it that mimetic propulsion that got like the whole world. People from different citizens of different countries were coming in to do this stuff because they heard about it and they were coming to it. You didn't have to sell it to them. It was just people coming in and like, oh, I get it, or I want to learn about this, and and it was pretty radical idea at the time, for real.
Yeah. So Satoshi, it's all Satoshi's fault, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he created Bitcoin, but then, just like Skrilla said, he put some stuff right there, right in the first block. And then,
Hey.
years later, Nardo made a painting about it.
Yeah, he
Orange.
started
Yep.
the memes. It memed into
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. There's a meme on the Genesis
But
block.
you Nardo, tell us about that orange painting, because it's a good one. Nardo.
Yeah, that was, what was that, 2023? Basically, Satoshi sort of did a timestamp of Chancellor on the brink of second bailout in the Genesis block. But then, you look at that headline in the newspaper itself, and you kind of just have to like sort of take in what was occurring at the time in the world.
That was the snapshot of time, right?
Yeah, and so that image of the soldier sitting on top of the tank, obviously is a different story other than Chancellor on the brink, but it's very much of that sort of like ethos, that the image sort of transcended its original narrative. And
what Nardo's saying is that he took the photo that was on the cover of the newspaper that Satoshi quoted, and it was a war photo, and Nardo did this unbelievable painting about it, or of it, a version of it. It's incredible. But yeah, I really like that painting and the story that it told, because it's a really, really, I think a lot of people missed what that is. That
Right.
They go back. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I want people to go back and look at that. It's real. I mean, I remember seeing it in person. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But yeah, awesome.
yeah, and it is.
I think a lot. It was so good. People mistaken it for a photo.
Yeah, I thought it was a photo.
I thought it was a photo in the beginning.
Too good.
I thought it was like a photoshopped
Like a big
photo.
print.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
for
interesting though, just like even the warring states that were involved in that image, and the discussion in that newspaper has literally come full circle to today. We're talking about the same warring states, and it's Bitcoin has, you know, moved forward despite all of this insanity in the world.
Yeah.
The blockchain
Yeah,
just
and I
keeps
think
flocking.
there was not long ago there was like a statement that they can't bail out, that when Bitcoin started to crash like a few weeks ago, that they can't bail out Bitcoin. It was kind of like the
Oh
same.
yeah.
It was kind
Yeah,
of like the
no,
same
yeah, we need to
statement,
bail
but it
out.
was like like the government said, or I
Yeah,
don't
like the
remember what it
normie
was
holders are
exactly.
like, can we bail this out? Can we
You
save our
can't bail out
coins?
Bitcoin. It was like no, and everyone like yeah, it was like look, Bitcoin can't be bailed out, and all the Bitcoiners were like, yeah, that's the whole point.
Right.
So it was like yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's incredible.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's true.
shame
Like
how Bitcoin has gotten so big that we have. It's like like that we haven't. It's even being discussed because it's like I think a lot of people just have gotten into Bitcoin the last 5 years because the number go up and it's become an investment vehicle. But I think all of us know like the reason Bitcoin is, you know, Bitcoin would be fine if it just stayed at $60,000. Like it would be fine. Like it's still going to be the same money of what it's meant to do with cross borders, you know, cheap transactions, not, you know, KY, no, well, whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, P2P money basically.
yeah. Yeah, and also if fiat's going down, then it doesn't matter how much it's worth, right? If it's not if it's not worth anything, it's not worth anything.
Yeah, people say, for instance, like Bitcoin's the same price that it was in 2021, but it's not because the groceries are double the price since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prices are out of control in fiat.
Yeah. Okay, let's do. I have like 4 rapid fire questions, like in memes. So just like the first thing that comes to mind, what's the funniest meme you've ever seen about Bitcoin? Skrilla, you're laughing.
Do you have one?
I'm trying to.
I got one that's like inspired by a Scrilla drawing, but it's that young boy kind of like angrily flexing, and it's that sort of like deep fried text that says, "How the fuck do Bitcoins actually work?" or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so true, you know, like there is a sort of like weird, I mean, maybe not so much now, but even then, back then when I was first learning about Bitcoin, I had that same sort of feeling like, how the fuck do I even get one? Like,
Yeah, that's how everybody starts. How does this work? Can you
it's not
explain
even
to me?
a tangible thing. Like, how do I get this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's magic money.
I think personally for me the best Bitcoin memes were like the 2016, 17 era with like Bitcoin Uncensored and Mike in Space and the UASF ones, like and like the Roger Vermes, like that whole era there was like this Twitter, God, there it was just every day like these just like super crazy like memes were coming out, just like
Yeah, when moods
diabolical. Like Bitcoin Uncensored doesn't, you know, it's kind of like a lost. It's like this kind of like Atlantis of like Bitcoin. I don't know, talk and stuff like that. But those guys were like they were relentless and ruthless and mean. But they their podcasts and their like the chat group, the Coin Dojo and stuff, like it was crazy. Like everybody, all the Bitcoiners would be in there and people would leave, like these influencers or like these devs would come in, like I mean Ethereum dev Vitalik and all these people, they would leave because it was so just like there was no God, like nobody was put on a pedestal. It does not matter what your credentials were. It was just like ideas, and they're just like battling constantly. And like it was from that Telegram group and the internet, and you know these troll boxes that were going on back then on the website Poloniex and BTC and all that stuff. And those, yeah, it was relentless, and it was like a real fight for ideas back then about what Bitcoin was going to be. You know, the price of Bitcoin was like under $1,000 for most of that time, and it was just kind of like a fight against these influencers, it felt like. And it was it propped me up a lot in terms of my idea, like what to like stand on, because I saw that it's like, you know, it doesn't matter what the group think is. It's like, it's just what you think it is. And, you know, you know, that like, that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is just different to everybody. I kind of, luckily, I think I fell into that hole early, and I kind of learned it. And, you know, it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. It's what Bitcoin is to you that matters.
I don't know about funniness, but I really like Bitcoin is dead, you know, this meme idea, right? We've seen this over and over again.
Yeah.
Where the somebody in the news world writes, Bitcoin's dead, it's going to zero. You know, even I couldn't believe it. Actually, one of my friends just this past week said, I heard that Bitcoin's going to zero. What do you think of that? I was like, no. But yeah, so that, you know, just that idea, I think resonates really a lot with me. It's just, I guess what I like about it is that, you know, we just have to have fun in order to be fearless, right? Like, so if we're having fun, we can be fearless. Like, well, if we all, you know, if our Bitcoin goes to zero, it goes to zero, you know, we'll have fun. We'll keep it the whole way down, you know?
Yeah,
I know that's
the
not
coaster guy is having a lot of fun. I've seen him like on all over the place. He's in free fall.
That's
hands
the other
are
one.
always up.
Yes, hands
Yep.
are always up. Gotta just ride the wave, man. It's like somebody calls me up and they say, I heard Bitcoin just went down a lot. Like, yes, that's what it has to go up a lot so it can go down a lot.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah, the Google trend search for Bitcoin going to zero is actually it's like significantly well past the highest search it's ever been in the history of
Wow.
Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin going to zero is at an all-time high?
Yeah.
Because
mean,
I think if people don't buy or if people don't have it, they like it. They like enjoy the ride out.
They're waiting. They've been waiting. It's the skeleton, right? The skeleton on the park bench, still waiting for Bitcoin to go to zero. Yeah.
Yeah, they want.
And then they
us to
become the
fail.
meme. They become the memes, like that dude Clavicler or whatever, that the young influencer guy. Like he's talking about, he's like dancing on graves yesterday because of fucking Bitcoin lost $2,000 in the market cap. So he's like, I told you. And it's like, bro, that's what you're like. That's bottom signal talk, bro. Like, calm down. Like,
yeah. So, what's a meme you made that flopped that you think deserves better, that should have made it?
Well, I'm going to say that I made, I don't think it deserves better, but I did make a Bitcoin comic on my daily comic back in 2012, which was actually before I made the roller coaster guy, because I made him in 2013. So I did make a comic titled Bitcoin in 2012, but honestly, it wasn't really that good. So it doesn't really deserve that much attention, but yeah. So that's a false answer to your question. Next.
It's a half.
That's a hard question. I want to answer for Nardo. I think Nardo drew Skibbity Toilet in a pencil drawing. That like Skibbity Toilet was like the meme of 2024 and into 2025, and I think like his artwork should have been like embraced a lot harder for that Skibbity Toilet one, because it was, Skibbity Toilet was like the meme of that time, and Nardo has watched all the Skibbity Toilet episodes, I think, so he has a very
oh yeah,
he knows about it. It's very like, if you don't know about it, it's like it's understandable why you wouldn't get it, but if you know about it and you do the research, it's like very like, it's very philosophical, and it's what we've said this whole program is like, it's using like these dense silly things to like tell the story of like modern times.
Yeah, Skibbity Toilet is the Iliad of our time.
Slop.
Yeah, well, maybe when the Iliad was told before it was written, it was also had the same
Yeah,
the
people
same feel
didn't
to it.
appreciate it as much as they should have.
Yeah, I guess from answer from mine, I don't know. It's the same thing as Marcus. I don't think it really needed to take off, but one
Oh,
that
you guys are too.
I made one of use. I made a character. I forget what I call it. It's like some long ass word, but it's got the badger, the alpaca, the Bitcoin wizard, a few different early Bitcoin memes and combined into one character. And I put it out when Bitcoin was like 40,000. It was called the 69K meme. I was trying to meme it to 69K, and
It didn't
it,
work.
I mean, I don't think it worked, but I like the character. It's funny. It just, I just, it's so neat. Like, I think, especially me, I can speak for me. Like, I use a lot of niche memes, things like early, like what I think will be what will be memes, like what will be like, you know, that's how I've lived my whole life. I get into like things early, I think that I think will be something later, like, and I try to like cultivate that early. And so I have a lot of respect. I do history on stuff. Like, I wasn't around for alpaca stocks. I wasn't that early in Bitcoin, but I, knowing these things and putting them into art and memes, I don't think the general public understands it as much. But I do try to like do the research on like things, and I try to incorporate that in my art.
I think you can still buy alpaca socks for Bitcoin though. So you're actually not late on that. I mean, you can still buy them.
Right. But I mean,
I
they
get
were
what you're
like
saying,
the initial thing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
could buy with Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, here's one thing that you can buy. That's physical thing that you can buy with Bitcoin.
Yeah, one thing.
Alpaca socks.
The only thing.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing
Yep.
else.
Actually, back in the day, there was this gal selling candy. She would make candy. This was in 2012, and she was called Stateless Sweets, and she would sell that for Bitcoin.
Oh wow.
I remember that.
Oh, cool.
That was, but alpaca socks came before that. But
Yeah, it was 2011, I think.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Narda, do you have one, or are you gonna take Skrilla's offer?
The Scrilla's was pretty good. Yeah, the painting's gone underappreciated in my opinion. But no, I mean, like I make, I upload memes to Twitter a lot that aren't paintings. They're just really quick, like untitled sketches that I do on like the Procreate app on your phone, just while I'm sitting around and a brief idea comes to my mind. I like keep this weird portfolio of memes on Twitter, but yeah, a lot of those memes I've uploaded, I feel like get maybe only I can like truly sympathize with them. There's this one meme where I did maybe 2 years ago. It was like this over explained meme. How like some memes are like minimalist and like a few words, and then some of the really good memes are like over explained huge explanations of like a very simple idea. But I basically made this meme that discussed how Twitter is like the abyss that you stare into and it stares back at you. Kind of along the lines of you become what you meme. And I did this huge over explanation of it, which I was proud of, and it got like 2 likes.
Yeah, it's a real art to like take everything and put it into like a simple form, but that means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really hard art to do.
Yeah, meme is an art form, and obviously we're all trying to spread that message as much we can because we're involved with it. But it really is, not appreciated in the art as much. I think it will be. I think people will look back and find memes, but even like people that made the Wojak, made certain variations of Pepe, you know, the troll face that's on my hat, like a lot those people generally aren't known or who they are on the tip of people's tongues, right? But they've impacted internet culture and into in real life, like beyond most things in a lot of ways. And you know, they should be appreciated a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
I definitely look at those things like that trolley guy on your hat, like, and I do wonder about who made that. I
Yeah.
don't take the time to Google it, but you know, I think about it. Yeah, but I agree. It's I don't worry too much about you know, recognition in terms of like any official recognition, but I mean, because it seems like we're all having a lot of fun, and you know, you know, it's really about our crowd, right? Like, if our crowd is enjoying it, like that's a win. That's a win,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah.
we're not making it for a critic. We're
Yeah.
making it for people who are into Bitcoin, into fun Bitcoin stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so to kind of like draw the parallel of Bitcoin, like memes in general, you know, the creator does not matter as much. Just like Bitcoin, the creator doesn't really matter too much anymore, and that's kind of like the fun of it.
Yeah.
That's like I know me and Nardo have both like talked about it in past with each other, but like creating memes and not getting credited for it is actually part of the fun. Like you want to like just
Yeah.
put it out there and see it go, and it doesn't matter. Like the credit doesn't matter. It's like, there's just you get a good feeling just knowing that people like the meme. It doesn't matter like you did it. Like this it's a community thing, and it's no like that's the thing about Pepe especially. It's very egoless. Like anytime you start getting the ego within the rare Pepe community, like you're gonna you're gonna get you're gonna get attacked or like blitzed on because
Yeah.
like there
Yeah.
that there is like the ego is very destroyed within rare Pepe, and that people, you don't see rare Pepe artists like really going out there and be like, oh, I did
Yeah.
there's none of that like compared to like the art world and the music world at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like against the meme idea, no?
Exactly. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
So to like a final question that's that I'm gonna start that I'm making like a tradition for the podcast. So it's 2140 and the last Bitcoin has been mined, and we don't know what's happening. Maybe there's a total utopia Bitcoin standard and everyone's just like happy and everything's good, and or maybe it's like a snow crash dystopia, or maybe there's no humans and maybe it's just aliens and robots. But someone opens this archive and finds one of your artworks. Which one would you want them to find that kind of tells the story of what's happening now in the best way? Like tells your meme idea so they can understand something about the times we're living in.
yeah, you know, I'm working on a piece right now, and it's called "The Battle of Currency," and I think it's great. It's like a sequel to Fiat Land, and Fiat Land was this really busy sort of Where's Waldo thing that I made that I got a lot of positive feedback for, and in this new one, you know, I'm taking the story to the next level, and I'm including all this stuff, and I'm so excited about it because, of course, I'm working on it, so I'm really excited about it. But you know, I would want to say my ego tells me that's the one I want, this one, because it's it's going to be so good, you know. But you know, I would say that like for me, I mean, it's not. There's no debate, right? Like just the coaster guy, you know, like that's what they will find. It'll probably even be like one that somebody else changed, but you know, that's okay, you know. But yeah, so for me, it's that.
Yeah, mine would be the Sound Money Bitcoin album for me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine would be the fake Genesis.
Mm.
And you know, it's kind of funny because you know I got kids, and so by we said 2140 is the last
Yeah.
Bitcoin, and the life expectancy with all this new health technology will probably put my kid live until 150 or something. So he'll have like a solid 30 years left of life before to, to see the world past the last Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
they'll be the ones showing your art.
yeah, our children will be showing off the memes that their crazy previous generation made.
Yep. Post block reward world.
Okay. So we have 5 minutes. Can you just each say like if there's anything specific you're working on now, or where can people find you?
Find me on X.
On X?
Marcus Connor, NH. Yeah, I just talked about what I'm working on. Battle of Currency. It's a pretty fun one. I'm incorporating a bunch of water-based money things that are water-based, like Loan Shark and liquid assets. You know, things like that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, what do you guys do?
And apparently you're also working on puppets.
What? No, I don't do anything with puppets.
That's Marcus.
Nothing.
That's
This
the
is
real
me.
one. If
Yeah.
someone's just listening to this, you have to watch the video. So, just so you know.
I remember Nardo before he turned green.
Yeah.
You know, he's green now.
Nardo?
Let's see. I'm working on a couple paintings for the upcoming BTC 26 conference. Kind of like going off this theme that I was left off with the Citadel of this sort of like kind of neo-medieval world. So I'm making these like paintings of these sleeping knights that are correlated to like the rise green chart and the descent of a red chart, and it's all just composition based. So those will probably be on view in Vegas if I get them done in time.
Nice.
Well, get back to work.
Yeah. And where can people find you except in your studio?
Just Twitter is the best place.
Okay.
Yep.
Scrilla.
Oh, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Uh-oh.
You hear?
He's
Do you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're good.
now, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm working. I've been working on a bunch of mimetic style drawings and paintings, and I'll have them at Bitcoin conference. I've been working on a lot of memes involving the Shoggoth, which is the AI octopus
man.
brain meme with like a yellow happy face. Like it looks like, oh, everything's happy, and in the background is like just this like all consuming
good.
like alien brain octopus guy. And it's got, and also they have some polar bear 2026 involvement, kind of like this like you know, if you look up polar bear 2026, you got an idea, but it's kind of like this kind of eerie post-apocalyptic like polar bear that something's going to happen in November 2026 that came out in 2023. And then Wojaks and Pepe's. Yeah, I've really been working hard on incorporating all those guys into these memes, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Actually, I've been got a good stockpile of stuff I've been making the past 6 months or so, and I've dug into painting a lot more the last several months. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter, or just got a new website up, rarescrilla.com, and it's an interactive website. You can go and DJ on it, and kind of
Oh,
like
cool.
only finally got a place with like all my art and music across. I kind of got about like the last 10 years of stuff up there, and I'm gonna add some more stuff up there from like earlier years, but took a while.
Is
I've
your
been creating
website
so
triangle shaped?
no, no,
Oh, okay.
no,
I just thought maybe it was triangle shaped.
no.
It's a great
It's
site.
based on my drawing desk. It just got loads of crap on it and kind of different mediums that I use on there, because I think it's confusing. My art stuff is kind of a little confusing, so it's good to have all of it in one place where people can browse and feel the chaos a little bit. So
Cool.
excited about that.
Yeah, your website feels like how the internet was when the world was when the nostalgia hits hard, you know. But like how websites should be.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a throwback. Got my GeoCities on there.
Cool. You got some scrolling marquees across there, the scrolling words, marquee. Does anybody else remember that?
There's
like-
definitely scrolling words on there.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. The scroll bar is heavy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for coming on. This was really fun. And yeah, I think there's so much to memes that I love it, that there's so much meaning in something that looks so supposedly simple. So yeah, thank you, all of you, for coming. And
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
for having us,
and,
Yonat.
Yeah. Yeah. And anyone listening, follow all of them for the best memes in Bitcoin. All right. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, y'all. Peace.